I hope he's right. I hope he's right. You know I can talk. But thank y'all so much for having me here. Again, I'm Joseph Haynes Davis. Is the camera working?
It is working.
It looks like it's working.
It looks like it's working.
As y'all know, I do it up and put it on our campaign Facebook page because that helps get our message out. But before I start with saying anything, I think y'all know this. I've claimed St. Cloud as my second home. St. Cloud has embraced my campaign since we won the St. Cloud Chamber of Commerce straw poll early on during the primary. And since then, Catfish Place was one of the first commercial establishments, businesses that embraced me and had my campaign items there, St. Cloud. And then the last time I spoke to the good folks here at the Osceola Ballot Initiative, I met Mr. Sewell of the Kissimmee Rodeo, and now you know I can't stay away from it because I'm there all the time on Friday nights when he has it, because that's part of my background. I have an agricultural background, so having come to these functions, it brought it back out. I'll tell you all again about myself, and I don't want to take up that much time, but again, I'm an old broadcaster, so you know I can talk. I grew up in the southern Illinois area. I was born on a 160-acre farm in Millstadt, Illinois, April 4th, 1959. My father was a dental surgeon, Dr. Miles Dewey Davis. He graduated from Northwestern School of Dentistry, 1924. You know that's 5 years before the Great Depression. My mother, I'm part of the second marriage. I am the bounty of that second marriage. My mother was the late Josephine Haynes Davis. She graduated from Kentucky State at 20 years old in 1936 and got her master's from Columbia University in New York City. 10 days after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. They bought a farm together in about 1948 in southern Illinois. Respectfully, we were the first black Americans out there. But it was hard work that got those two folks together to get their degrees, to maximize and become trailblazers in their professions, and bought a farm like that. And you can see the article on Ebony magazine, November 22nd, 1959, where my father was the only black American land-raised hog trader. His trading partners were the late, great Winston Churchill and the late, great Robert E.B. Fielder, who was the great-grandson of General Robert E. Lee. Those were his buddies. And you'll see a little old thing about this big with my mother and father in that picture. That's me, and you can probably tell that by the forehead that's sticking out of the blanket. With that being said, I'm a graduate of Illinois State University. I got a master's degree from University of Pennsylvania in social work, criminal and juvenile justice, and my law degree is from Rutgers Camden. I have been here in the 9th Judicial Circuit practicing since December 20th of 2000. That's when I got sworn in. My bar card came January 21st of 2001. I worked for nobody but myself. I built my law practice through my own sweat and brow and through good folks like yourselves trusting me to do your legal work. I was recruited here in 1998 from Cox Radio. I'm a former broadcaster. And again, that's why you know I can talk all day. With that being said, what distinguishes me from my opponent is the fact that I am the only candidate with quasi-judicial experience as a Value Adjustment Board Attorney Special Magistrate. I'm sure the Clerk of Court, Mr. Thompson, knows all about Value Adjustment Board Attorney Special Magistrate. Let me tell you what that is. when you have an agricultural designation on your property or your homestead, or it's a limited income senior issue on your property, and for whatever reason, the property appraiser says it should be revoked, you apply for a hearing to either keep it, get it back, etc. And I'm one of the folks that would hear that matter, and then I write a recommendation to that board. If you win, then you get it back. If you lose and you want to appeal it again, it goes straight to the circuit court, and obviously that's what I'm running for, to be a circuit court judge. I am the only candidate who has written recommendations to these various boards, and I'm talking about 17 of the 67 counties of the great state of Florida. Over the past 8 years, I've been appointed in this quasi-judicial position, including Polk this year. But I've written agricultural recommendations, limited income senior, homestead, charitable property contribution issues, and so forth, along with the 15 years of trial experience in criminal, trial experience in civil, trial experience in probate, trial experience in mental health, trial experience in guardianship, and those are all of the areas that encompass the circuit court. So while, respectfully, my opponent talks about his trial experience in criminal, I have that and more, plus the quasi-judicial experience. When I am sitting as a circuit court judge, I am under the same, and when I am sitting as a value adjustment board attorney special magistrate, I am under the same type of ethical scrutiny as a sitting circuit court judge, having had to have the responsibility of reviewing canon number 7 of the Code of Judicial Conduct, having had to review the Judicial Bench Guide, having had to review all of the advisory opinions of the Judicial Ethics Advisory Commission. You can find all that online in module number 3 of my training materials. My training materials are all available to the citizenry of this great state at the Florida Department of Revenue website. You can find it. So I'm not making this stuff up. Not that I would anyway. But the point I'm trying to make to you, the citizenry, is that without question, I am the candidate that is the most qualified for this position from day one. I don't, you know, I believe that during the last election, meaning the primary, Osceola County trusted what I positioned as my message. They almost won this thing. We had another candidate who had, I think, 13%, and my opponent had 42,000 votes. I had 40,000 votes. I'm horrible with math. I don't know what 13% amounts to, but I really believe if he wasn't there, they'd all been with Joseph. So with that being said, I respectfully and humbly ask for your votes if you haven't already voted for me. If you know folks, please, respectfully, if you feel good about my message, please tell them about me. Like I said, East Osceola County, St. Cloud, being at the rodeo, folks have embraced me like no other area in the 9th Judicial Circuit. Now, that's not to say that, Orange, where I live, isn't good and so forth. But St. Cloud and Osceola County has been special for my campaign. So again, God bless you all. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak here. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak in previous instances. And hopefully I can get your vote. If y'all have any questions, I'd love to answer them. If not, I'm sure Mr. Nagy is just going to tell me to go sit down. But y'all can go ahead and ask me any questions. I hope y'all think until we made up our mind, you can go sit down. But thank y'all so much.